Hello and welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. My name is Robin Finney. I'm your intuitive and authenticity coach, and every Wednesday I come to you live to bring you an oracle message. So, greetings from Brazil. I don't know how good my connection is right now, but I arrived here on Sunday. I'm in São Paulo, and sorry, I'm just closing some windows. So I arrived here. I'm in Sao Paulo, which is the largest city in South America. I haven't done a whole lot. I'm kind of acclimating. It's only a 2 hour difference, but that 2 hours makes quite a. It's enough to throw my sleep schedule off. So I've been getting used to that, acclimating, and just feeling into being in the travel world again in this way, and being back in South America. It's been 2 years since I've been here and first time in Brazil. So I'm so excited. Can't really see too well out my window, but there we go. In the city right now. Next week I'm heading to the beach. So I'm excited to share some nature, and I've got something really exciting I'm creating that you'll actually get to be a part of and go on a journey with me through and a little remote. So I'm excited. I'll have more about that in the coming days, but stay tuned. And so in this space, I was on a call earlier and it was just like feeling the energy. It's like everybody just kind of had this vibrancy about them and like kind of the shift. And last week it was kind of like it just felt like a little heavier, and I'm really leaning into the ebb and flow. So it's kind of like that saying, like, ride the wave while it's high, and then give yourself that time when you need to rest. And so I took Monday and Tuesday to just kind of like allow myself to be here, acclimate, be present to being in another country again, and a country where I don't know the language, I don't know Portuguese. So just learning from that space, and then just taking time to rest, self-reflect, and so I invite you, if last week, hopefully, if you tuned in and saw some of those messages, that you were able to take some time for yourself and really reflect and journal, spend time in nature and meditate and see what wants to come. And that's the invitation for this week as well. We have a full moon in Aquarius tomorrow night, and we're still in Leo, so there's still that creative energy that's at play right now. And so really inviting you to tune into that. And then it's also the full moon's bringing in that energy of social responsibility, and how can we show up for not just for ourselves but for others as well in an aligned way. So that's the question right now, for you as you lean into those energies tomorrow night. And as always with a full moon, if you do participate in any rituals or anything, it's a beautiful time for gratitude and really just being present to everything that's transpired for you over the last 6 months. So you kind of go back to February, since we're in the full moon in Aquarius, you would go back to the new moon in Aquarius in February, and just kind of take some mental notes, or jot down some notes to be present to just all of the gratitudes and what's been showing up in your life, and where can you really be grateful even through the challenges and the hard times. Like, you're still here, so you're still standing, so find some gratitude in that. And then if there are areas that you notice that you're like, oh yeah, I remember this is a pattern, this has been happening, and you're ready to like kind of shift through that. It's like last week we asked the question of, how long am I going to continue to play this game? So if you've been exploring that question for the last week, then I really invite you to take some time and see what you can really let go of and release. And you can let go of that this week and just ask that it be taken from you, and trust what wants to come in its space. So, okay, so let's take a moment to tune in, take a deep breath, and I invite you to choose a number 1, 2, or 3, and I'm pulling from the Enchanted Map. There we go. This week. And so we're going to go on a journey and see what wants to come. So take a moment to choose your number. When you have your number, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear. And we'll see what message wants to support you over this next week. So, okay, got your number? All right, good. So for my number ones, I'm gonna tune in, choose your message. And I always really love like the messages and comments that you share so that I can hear just what's showing up for you and what's resonating with these messages. And it's always beautiful to see the connection with the numbers and what people choose. I always tend to see themes. It's like, well, I'll get the same message, or the same people, like so many people will all choose like a certain number. And so it's really cool to see that and see that we're all aligned in that way. So, all right. So for my number ones, your message for this week is details, details. And I have not, I've never pulled this message before, so I'm excited to see what the Oracle has for us. So for my number ones, details, details, the most powerful patterns are created within the tiniest details. Pay attention. This is the time to be aware of the fine print in all areas of your life. Look at the details and leave the broad strokes for another time. When this card appears in a reading, it's a sign to finesse a project, make small but meaningful gestures, or add a personal touch to your correspondence. Be aware that what you need to know lies in the details. If you're entering into an agreement of any kind, pay attention to them before, not after, when it's too late. Clarity and transparency are key. You can gain great understanding by observing the minute body language, offhand remarks, and fleeting facial expressions that reveal the larger picture. So for my number ones, and also the sun, it's winter here, so the sun sets a lot earlier, so I've got the afternoon light on me right now. So for my number ones, this is really inviting you to look at the details in your life, the fine print. So you know how we sign contracts, and who actually spends the time to read the fine print? Most of the time we don't. And so this is really inviting you to, if you're signing a contract, like actually spend the time and read through the fine print. Not in a way to like scare you out of signing it, but in a way for you to really get present to like, okay, what am I agreeing to by signing this? And that's the same if you're engaging in a partnership or a new project, or there's something that you are creating. Just make sure that you're really fine-tuning the details and spending some time engaging in that so that you can really be present to it and understand what it is that you're getting into. So that way later you won't be surprised if something shifts or doesn't go the way that you thought. So it's just a way for you to be prepared and also get into action around that. So that's for my number ones this week. For my number twos, let me pull the curtain a little bit. I wasn't expecting it to be so bright all of a sudden because we haven't had sun here since I arrived, so it's actually really welcoming. I'm very, very excited. I'm going to go for an afternoon stroll after this so I can be out in the warmth of the sunlight. All right, number twos, I invite you to just really focus and just ask yourself like, okay, what message will really support me right now? Like, what message am I meant to hear and work with over the next week? And that will support you in getting that. Oh, okay. So number twos, you have two messages. So you've got metamorphosis. So I'll read that first, and then I'll read a second message for you. So for my number twos, you are in the process of deep and beautiful change. Butterflies earn their wings through great effort. The process of change is often painful, for it is never without losses and sacrifices. If you are to transform from one form to another, a part of you needs to die. Letting go isn't easy, especially when you're used to thinking a certain way about your life and how you live it. Just as a snake sheds its dead skin, a caterpillar dies so that a butterfly can be born, you're required to release your old ideas and embrace a necessary change so you can live your best life. Perhaps you're being asked to let go of low self-worth, a dream that no longer serves you, a relationship that is draining, or unhealthy habits. Despite your fear, you must accept that this is a transformational time for you. There will be some loss involved, but you'll love what you become. So for my number twos, the Metamorphosis card is really beautiful for tomorrow, for the full moon tomorrow night, because it gives you that, it's kind of that inventory for you to go through and look back over the last 6 months and or just even over the last few weeks and just see like what patterns are showing up, what habits, what relationships are no longer serving you, and where can you just really just like let go and just be okay. And always trust. Like, it can be scary letting go sometimes, but I always like to think that what's meant for us, it's like has really served us and supported us to this point. And if it's meant to be, it will resurface again. Maybe not in the same form, but it will come again. And just trust the life cycle of like it said, snakes are shedding skin, and it comes back. Caterpillars morph into butterflies and start a new life. So this is really an opportunity for a rebirth and like shedding what's no longer there so that you really can step into that next space. And that's where the second message for you comes in, because with that time of change and transition and shedding, you really need strength to support you in that, because loss is not always easy and what you're letting go of isn't easy. So this is the second message for my number twos this week, is the strength message. And your true strength comes not from self-reliance alone, but from a sincere faith in a higher power. The strength to accomplish even the most daunting tasks is yours at this time. You can connect with and channel the power of the universe. The strength card indicates that your ideas are being tested and redefined and your relationships deepened. No matter what happens, nothing can move you off course of evolution. As the potency of your connections becomes more obvious, you're able to harness the creative energies that are available to you. Have courage and dive in, for magic is in the process of finding and form to take. When you remember that real strength comes from a combination of your efforts and reliance on higher power working through you, all is possible. You can do anything now. So, yeah, so that's such a beautiful complement to that. So the Metamorphosis card is really asking you to like look at those habits, let go of what's no longer serving you, but then step into strength to carry you forward. Like, really call in your higher power and whatever that is, whoever that is. Well, I don't think that helps. There we go. To really support you in that, and know that you're not alone in that. Because so often when we have change, we feel like we're alone and that nobody else is around and can understand. But have faith and trust and just really tune into your higher self and your higher power to guide you and support you. And then also call in your support teams around you. So that is for my number twos. And finally, number threes. Let's see what message wants to come for you this week. Okay, and this is the listening card for my number threes. I think we pulled this one recently. It comes up a lot with my clients and people I'm working with. So it's been a theme lately. It's been a theme in my life. So it's a really, really beautiful, simple yet powerful message. So for my number threes, listening. An open heart will hear the message. When this card appears, you're being reminded that there is a time to speak and a time to be silent. Now is an occasion for listening. Pay attention not only to what is being spoken, but also to what is not being said at the moment, for the deeper message is not always obvious. Listen with your heart, not just your ears, and you'll find clarity. Receiving the listening card is a fortunate sign and ensures a greater understanding of your circumstances. So for my number threes, the listening card is really inviting you to take a step back and pause. Pause before you respond, before you react, and allow yourself to really like observe and witness what is being said to you, and then hear it. Like hear it from a deeper level. It's from that space of like listening to understand rather than listening to respond. So perhaps you received a message or some feedback on something, and it's not sitting well with you, and it's uncomfortable, and maybe it triggered something in you, or somebody said something to you, and you're like really sitting with it and looking for the deeper message beneath it, or maybe something wasn't said. And silence is a form of communication. So sometimes we may be having conversations with people and then it's done, it's silent. That's communication in itself. So allow yourself to really like hear and listen what's being said, like beneath the words, and allow yourself to like really feel into it. And then if you are being triggered by something, then spend some time like sitting with and asking yourself those questions, like, okay, what is it about what this person said to me that's really getting to me? Like, what is the heart of this matter? And then just listen to what wants to come. Not your ego. Your ego is going to fire off and just chat at you really loudly, but listen from your heart and from that space, and trust what wants to come, because our heart, our intuition, all of that is here to serve us, and it's not going to say anything to hurt us or throw us off track like our ego will. So that's for my number threes. These are all this week, as I said, from the Enchanted Map Oracle. I would love to hear your feedback, hear what number you chose and how your message for this week resonates. Happy full moon tomorrow night. Actually, too, I read if you have clear skies, of course, with the full moon, it's going to be illuminated, so the skies will be brighter than normal, but there's supposed to be some epic meteor showers tomorrow night. So if you do have clear skies, I invite you to go outside and just invite your child self, your inner child, lay a blanket on the ground and just sit out and look at the sky. I used to do that when I was a kid. I remember in August we would go and find like a really dark space, like in our drive, like outside the neighborhood, and get blankets, and my siblings and I, we'd all curl up next to each other and we would just stare up and like point at the shooting stars as they came by. So yeah, so if you can see that tomorrow, take some time to do that. And I wish you a beautiful rest of your week. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm here for the next few weeks in Brazil, and I'm really excited to see what comes, and stay tuned for some special things that I'm creating that I can't wait to share. So take care, have a beautiful rest of your week, and we'll talk again soon.